MugUrba, the bureaucratic rhythms of imperial urbanity, law, property, and public life in Mughal South Asia, analyzes the urban and legal history of the Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire, the last great pre-colonial imperial power in the Indian subcontinent, ruled from 1526 to 1857. In this project, we analyze how the various cities and urban landscapes of the empire were administered and governed through the imperial legal system, Hanafi law. Hanafi law is one of the four schools of Sunni Islam, and this legal system was also practiced in the Ottoman Empire and Central Asia during this period. In this project, we'll analyze how Hanafi law was applied to different kinds of subjects who belong to diverse religious, ethnic, caste, and occupational backgrounds. In this project, we examine six major cities of the Mughal Empire. In northern India, Shahjahanabad or Delhi, which became the imperial capital from the 1630s and 40s onwards, Agra or Akbarabad, which used to be also an imperial capital, and the city of Mathura. These three cities on the Yamuna floodplains were important political centers. We also take into account three other cities in central India and the Deccan. Ujjain, a very important pilgrimage site for Hindus. Burhanpur, which was known for textile production that was exported to various parts of the world through the port city of Surat in western India, as well as Aurangabad, which became the political center from 1680s onwards until the 1710s, 1720s, especially with the Mughal imperial conquest in the southern part of the Indian peninsula. These cities were formed through various imperial privileges that were granted to the military elite, as well as through the regulation, administration, and governance by governors, judges, censors, and different kinds of state agents who were appointed by the imperial administration. In this project, we examine the legal and social history of these cities through three different dimensions. Firstly, looking at the different forms of public and private property laws that existed. Most notably, the military officers were granted privileges to create suburbs around the cities, which saw expansion during this period, especially from the 1650s to the 1720s onwards. In a second part, we look at the judicial organization, the way in which ordinary subjects, they could be weavers, merchants, traders, soldiers, or even peasant communities from the rural hinterland came to these cities for seeking justice, who had different kinds of litigation and courtly proceedings. We see how daily life was enmeshed in different forms of legal entanglement and contestation. Thirdly, the project also looks at forms of urbanism, that is, how different types of infrastructure were created during this period. These could be canals, various waterways, as well as the dredging of rivers. It also involved security. These were garrison towns with soldiers, and the various kinds of fortification and security were important. And especially one of the objectives of the project is to show how from the 1720s and 30s onwards, with military occupations and invasions by different forces, be they the Afghans, the Iranians, or the Marathas, the public infrastructure was weakened across these cities. The idea is to show how, despite being distinct and being formed through various regional processes, that each city had its own particularities in terms of the composition of the population, whether that could be religious, It could also be in terms of caste and occupation. Some of the cities were more important for their trade, others for political purposes. Nevertheless, the idea is to show that for the first time, how the imperial administration regulated these spaces, how it was actively involved in providing security, in organizing, and also shaping urbanity in pre-modern South Asia. Unfortunately, this is a dimension that has rarely been studied in the historiography, which tends to be focused on the colonial period from the 1800s onwards. Here, our idea is to go back to the pre-colonial period to show what were the other forms of mechanisms that existed, especially the way in which Islamic law, the Hanafi legal system, had been applied in a context where the majority of the population was non-Muslim. The methodological approach of MugUrba is based on cross-examining different forms of sources and documents. It is based primarily on a large collection of Persian documents, around 75,000. Persian was the official language of the empire and used at the imperial and the sub-imperial levels. Alongside these Persian documents, the project also examines legal treatises of Hanafi law, most notably the Mughal imperial compilation Al-Fatawa al-Alamgiriya from the 1660s and the 1670s, as well as documents and other kinds of sundry sources in the vernacular languages, especially Dhundadi, a dialect of Eastern Rajasthani that was also used in these cities. The project aims for the first time to produce a large corpus of data by using artificial intelligence through OCR and HTR, handwritten text recognition for Persian documents of the Mughal Empire. By using these methods, the idea is also to map them onto a dynamic map of the Mughal Empire, that is to create a cartography based on information and data extracted from these documents to show how the information economy and the administration of these different cities that were interconnected was shaped and transformed over the course of a century. But also zooming further into the cities themselves, the idea is to develop maps and plans of how the suburbs, the urban infrastructure, legal rights, etc. Evolved during this period, and to also show that in the 1720s and the 1730s, urban infrastructure was critically weakened, and this would be used to also reassess the question of decline of the urban spaces of the Indian hinterland. These different methods are being currently developed with the support of colleagues at the Centre de Recherche Historique. To conclude, the idea of MugUrba is to present a first social history of Hanafi law in Mughal cities. Through this project, we wish to also compare and contrast the imperial administration, the various processes and methods of governance that evolved in pre-colonial South Asia, and to see them in the broader light with institutional and imperial histories of the larger Islamicate world.